focusing too much on goals is probably what makes you a loser. Because winners focus on systems, routines, actions, and habits. And so this is a clear distinction between those who want to achieve something really in their life. They need to not just look at their goals, but to look at their systems they have in place. And so very famously says that you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. All right, when we talk about small changes, the biggest challenge that we face is our own mind, our own beliefs, our own perception of reality. So, how we look at things is that we try to ignore small things, and our mind tries to focus on larger, more noticeable differences. And therefore, James makes it very clear that success is not linear. So, for example, for several years, you might keep making a lot of tiny improvements, and success might not happen, and so you might stop believing in the process. But this is the real thing. You have to have the mindset shift to be able to believe in the process that results in the success, and though eventually the small growth or no growth would exponentially change into high growth at some critical threshold. So it gives examples of things in nature. For example, bamboo, develops its roots under the ground for several months, and then in probably 4 6 weeks it shoots to 90 feet. And so things have critical threshold. And similarly, he gives an example of melting ice. So under 0 degrees centigrade, there would be no melting. And for example, you can imagine the room's temperature increasing from -7 degree to -6 degree to -5 to eventually 0. And you might not be able to see any change in the ice cube on the table. But only when the temperature rises above 0 degrees centigrade would you be able to see the melting ice. And that's how all progress happens. For a lot of time it remains under the radar, under the critical threshold, after which all the change happens. And so you have to believe in the unseen power of small changes. And now this approach will not only change your achievability of long-term goals, rather this would also impact your happiness throughout your life. So for example, today, if your happiness is dependent on being happy or achieving your goals at some point in time in the future, so if your happiness is dependent on something you achieve in the future, then for all this time you struggle for that achievement, you would not be happy. And only once you achieve it, you will be momentarily happy. And then you will have the next goal, and then the next goal will also follow the same pattern. Rather, if your happiness is driven from your habits, your daily routines, your achievability of small things during the day or during the week, that is when you can have a more fulfilled and more happy life. And so you won't be in pain or worry about achieving your goals, because you will be focused on your systems and making them better and stronger and more effective. And that would not only increase your happiness through life, but actually increase the achievability of your goals. And that's the whole idea. This mindset shift would not only result in better success in life, but also a better, more fulfilled and happier life throughout.